and welcome to my first video tutorial. I'm Mikey, and this video is about object-to-object baking in Blender. So what is object-to-object baking? Well, object-to-object baking is when you bake a high-dense mesh and taking that information and baking it onto an image that is assigned to a low-poly surface. This is done by shooting rays out and taking the information from the high poly mesh and bringing it down to the low poly onto an image that is assigned to the low poly. Situations to avoid. Well, there are some situations to avoid when baking with these uh, properties. Avoid overlapping geometry. Because it's only gonna bake the first hit. So if here's 3 overlapping faces, only this face is gonna be baked. So it's not good to have overlapping geometry. Other things to avoid is faces that are perpendicular, because the rays can't see perpendicular faces. So it's not gonna be baked, and you're not gonna get the information. Okay, let's go into Blender. I have a scene here with the head of Emo from Elephant's Dream, and I modeled a low poly face or head by box modeling over the high poly surface. Okay, how to bake? Well, go into the Scene tab, F10, and selecting normals, because we're gonna bake a tangent normal. Select tangent and select it to active. If this is not pressed down, it's only gonna bake the low poly meshes information, the normals of the low poly. So have that selected. Distance is how far the rays is gonna shoot out until it finds something. If it's at 0, it's just gonna shoot into infinity if it doesn't hit anything. Okay, before baking we need to assign a UV coordinate set to the low poly. The high poly does not need any UV coordinates. So let's go into the UV image editor and select the low poly and make a. I've already made some seams, so I'm just gonna unwrap it. Okay, gonna scale down and space them out a little. Whoops. Okay. Okay, there. Let's assign the coordinates to an image. I already made an image, but you can make your own image by going to Image, New, and just set the width and the height of the image. And if you want a test, a UV test grid like this, or you just want in color black or red or whatever you want. Okay, now that is assigned. Okay, time to bake. Well, select the high poly first, then the low poly. Go into bake, to the scene tab again, and press bake. And as you can see, the result is not good. This is because you need to have the meshes on top of each other, so the rays are gonna shoot out and hit something. So I'm just gonna clear the location, select the high poly first, then the low poly, and try baking it in. And as you can see, it's much better. You get the right information, the right normals, and all that. Okay. Now that is done, I'm just gonna try rendering with the new image I made. I've set up a basic scene with 3 lamps and a camera, 2 hemi lights and a normal lamp. let's assign the image to the face or the head. This is done by making a new texture, going to map inputs, selecting UV and taking the name of the UV coordinates you want. I'm just gonna say tangent normal coordinates and Control C by holding mouse over. It's just gonna copy, and Control V over the input here. Then going into map 2, selecting normals, deselecting color, and set the normal value to 1. Now that is done, we're gonna go into the texture tab, and from drop down menu at texture type, select image. Then load up your image, as I have baked it. It's already in the drop down here, and selecting normal map. That's a new button in the new subversion. There's some space types you can select by object, well, and camera, but we're gonna focus on tangent mapping. Okay, we're all ready to, we're all set to go. Let's try rendering without the image. See how that looks. Right? It's not too fancy. So let's try with the image. As you can see, much more information and details and all that. So that's basically it about tangent normal mapping. Tangent normal mapping can be used for many things. You can use it for renders to getting details in, which saves rendering power. So, and you can also use it for game engines. These maps are used in the next generation uh, game content uh, for higher detailed characters and surfaces and all that. So I hope you learned something out of this video tutorial, and I hope you're gonna report back on how it was, so I can learn about it. Thank you. Thanks for watching.